Hi, my name is Hamid. I'm a certified instructor at ASM Educational Center. We're located in Rockville, Maryland. Our website is www.asmed.com and our phone number is 301-984-7400. Today I'm going to talk about how Amazon AWS OpsWorks works. Now, what is OpsWorks? According to the definition, AWS OpsWorks is a configuration management service that provides managed instance of Chef. This is a keyword. You gotta know the Chef. OpsWorks lets you use Chef to automate, that's a keyword, how servers are configured, deployed, and managed across your Amazon EC2 instance or in-premises compute environment. Excuse me. It has a bunch of parts. It's a Chef parts, we're going to talk about later on, stack and layer. All of these stack and layer, I'm going to explain to you on the lab. You will see what I'm talking about. What is Chef? Chef turns infrastructure into codes. With Chef, you can automate it how you build, deploy, manage your infrastructure. Stack. What is a stack? Stack is group of instance. So it's group of instances. Okay, that's very important to know that. Such as EC2, you could put Elastic Load Balance or RDS instance. We're going to see in the lab. Layer. Layer exists within the stack. So you're going to have a stack first, then inside that you're going to have what? A layer. The layer exists within a stack and consists of things like database layer, application layer, and we're going to do lab. You will see that. So what does that mean? When you and I create an example, for example, an application layer, instead of creating manually, it will install Apache server and it will configure all yum update. When you put Apache server, you have to update that. It will does that for you and other stuff for you. So it is what? Automated through where? Application layer, which we're going to do lab. So we will see in the lab later on. What we need one or more layers in stacks. First thing, you have to create stack. Inside the stack, you have to have one more layer. Then inside the layer, you need at least what? One or more instance. Now we have a bunch of pre-configured layer, which we're going to see that later on lab. We have application layer, load balance layer, then we have database layer and caching layer. So these are the stuff that we have. Now we're going to do a lab right now. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to console and go to OpsWorks. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the region that you did not use, like Germany. As you see on EC2, there's no instance and we have only one default gateway. Okay. So let's go back to the console right now. So I'll go back to console. Let me minimize this. By the way, this is our website, www.asm.com. I'm going to explain more there. So I'm going to go back to console. Right now I'm at the what? Frankfurt what? Region, okay? I click on EC2. I just want to show you we have nothing here. See, there's no instance right here. And the only thing we have is what? Security what? Group. Okay, we have only one security. There's nothing here, okay? Now I'm going to go to services. Then I go to what? OpsWorks. Okay? Now here's the keys. When you start the OpsWorks, the first thing we have to do, which I say in my notes right here, oops, I had something from before. Let me delete this. So we have a clean what? I'm sorry with that. I'm gonna delete this. Okay, because we have something, so we have to have a clean work. So what we're gonna do, when I go back to the again, go back to services, go back to OpsWorks. Okay. So here's what you're going to see, that a clean what environment. Okay. The first thing you want to do, always you want to what? Add your first stack. That's what's in my notes. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a stack and we will call it, and we're going to use Chef 11 stack. I'm going to show you a bunch more. We're going to call it ASM web page stack. So let me copy this, Control C. I'll go back to here. Okay, so I'm going to add your first stack right here. Now we have what? Sample stack. This is like it does it automatically for you. It's much easier. This is the, if you have a custom, but we're going to use Chef 11 stack because when we do this, you are much better. This is similar to this, but it does all the work. But I'd rather to do Chef 11 stack. Okay, this is what we're going to do. Chef 12 stack is more customized if you have your own cooker, but we're going to use this guy. Okay, so here stack name, I'm going to paste that. I'm going to call it ASM web page stack. Okay, then I'm going to live in Frankfurt. Okay, this is because we're in Frankfurt right now. I'm going to put a user default. You can use any other VPC. For simplicity, I'm going to leave a default. I'm going to use what? The first subnet 1A. Okay, I'm going to use Linux, which is right here. Now I'm not going to use SSH right now because we don't want to. You can do it. You can SSH, but we're not going to use that. Okay, this is chef version. Okay, then you're going to give a color. Let's give one of these color. It's good to have a color. Later I'm going to show what the color is. Okay. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to say add what? Stack. So right now I'm going to create what? Stack. Now look at this. The order is very important. Stack, layers, instance, apps, deployment. These are the order we're going to do. So after stack we have to create layer. After layer we have to create what? Instance. And you're going to see I have time based and load balance, and then apps and deployment. Okay, so next step right now. So next step is what? Think of a stack as a production stack. You have a production stack, you have a test stack, or developer stack. So imagine stack is a group of the things. Now I'm going to add a what? A layer in here. I'm going to pick application server type. So I'm going to pick application PHP server type. Okay. What above your layer do? It will create EC2 instance that would have Apache server on it with all YUM update like that. So let me go create a layer. Then you understand what I'm talking about. Excuse me. So I'm going to add a layer. Okay. Now here, look what happened. You could have OpsWorks layer, ECS, or RDS. You can do RDS, stuff like that. But we're going to keep it like this. But here, watch this. I'm going to pick what? PHP app server. Because I have a PHP file that I'm going to upload that to. I can use a static web server, or I can use Java, or I can use customized. But for simplicity, I'm going to pick what? Pick application PHP app server. Okay, so let's go right here. All we're going to do, we're going to say what? Add what? A layer. So here what we're going to do is we're going to add a layer. Okay, now watch this. So right now we have a PHP app server. Okay, the next thing we do after layer, we have to add what? Instance. That's very important. Stack first, layer, then so on. So this is my stack right here, ASM web page stack. I'm going to have a layer, could have one layer here, then could have RDS layer. Later on, we're going to have a elastic load balance layer. Inside here, you have to add what? Instance. That's most important right here. Add what? Instance. Okay. Okay. So right now, excuse me. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a name here, and the name according to my lab. Let me see that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, have Apache that. Now inside the layer, I'm going to add EC2 instance and call it what? ASM web server 1. Okay, I'm going to copy this. Then I'm going to pick what? T2 micro. I pick the first available zone and so on. Okay, then I'm going to start the what? Instance. Right now installing the instance and pre-configuring what? All Apache server and doing all the updates for us. It will take some time. Remember, if we go back to OpsWorks and there are Chef 11 stack predefined Chef recipes. So what I'm going to do, let's go back here. Oops, sorry about that. I'm going to call that ASM Web Server 1. Later I'm going to do another one, ASM Web Server 2 and ASM Web Server, so you can see that. For simplicity, I'm going to pick what? T2 what? Micro, cheapest one, okay? Then right now I'm going to pick what? The first one here, okay? Now when I click advanced, I have choice of different stuff. Okay, I'm not going to touch anything here. I'm going to leave it like that. But see, you can have a 24 hours by default, time based or that, but I'm just going to don't do advanced right now. All I'm doing, I'm going to add what? Instance. Again, here the size of that, you can change this, you can change EBS back, you can change the default, anything of these you can change that. Look what happened. OpsWorks agent version is inherent from stack. Whatever I put on stack is going to go to here. So add what? Instance. As you see right now is what? Stop. Stop. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to what? Start this. Now you have to understand, whenever we're starting this right now, it goes to the process. It's right now installing. Then what it's going to do, install a bunch of PHP server. It's going to install Apache server. It's going to install YUM update. It's going to do a lot of work for us. And all of these, instead of you and I do it, it does that for us. Okay, so that's one. Again, you do a stack first. This is stack. Then you go to what? Layer. See that? Stack first, right here. PHP that. Then you go to what? Layer. You create PHP app server. Then you go to what? Instance. As right now, we're doing one instance right now. It's booting up. Okay. So let's look at my notes right now. Okay. Start the instance. Right now, installing the instance and pre-configuring Apache server and doing all the updates for us. It would take some time. Remember, if I go back to OpsWorks and there we use a Chef 11 stack, which is predefined. Okay. So let's go back to Opta and click on instance and it's still booting. So let's go back to here. I'm going to see that. Okay, I'm going to go back there. Again, when I go back to the, services right here. I'll go back to OpsWorks. Sorry about that. Okay. It's coming right now. We just have to wait. Okay, go back to OpsWorks stacks. Okay. Now remember, when I go to stacks, I just want to show you right now. Let's wait, this comes up. Okay. So I say add the stacks right here. See, we're doing this guy, Chef 11 stack. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. This has what? Use built-in cookbooks for application and deployment. That's what it's doing right now. Those rebooting and stuff like that. All right, we're gonna go back to our stack again. Go back to this guy. Okay. And go back to your instance. So right now it sees it's booting up right now. Okay. So this is booting. Okay, next step. So what are we gonna do right now? Let's go back to OpsWorks and click instant and it's still booting. We see we've done that. Now I go to left side and get application from repository. Now what I means like this. If I go back to here, see, stack first, layer instant, then we want to do what? Apps. In here, look what it says that an app represents code stored in a repository that you want to install on application server instance. When you deploy the app, OpsWorks download the code from repository to a specific server. So what that means, this is your code is that your developer would write it down. Eventually they're going to put in some place like repository, and then we're going to push it to all the instance. That's what app is. And the language you're going to use is PHP. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add an app right here. Okay. The name, I'm going to pick the name what? Let's pick the name ASM app 1. So ASM app 1. Okay, here I'm going to pick which one? PHP, okay? Because that's what my app is. Now here I'm going to leave it default, leave it none. Now here, where you can repository, it could be from Git, which I have it. It could be HTTP, or it could be S3, or it could be other. So I'm going to do GitHub. So this is the website should be. HTTPS GitHub like that. I have that, and I'm going to use a sample from where? From the Amazon that's provided for us. So let me get that for you right here. See, HTTP github.com AWS sample OpsWorks demo blah blah blah. So this is an app that what they provide us. Control C. I go back to my here and I pasted what here. Okay. Then all of this is a little bit default. We're not going to touch that. Add what? App. Now look what happened. Stack, layer, instance, app. Then we have deployment. Look what happened. Eventually I have to deploy. I'm not going to deploy right now because I want to show you an error first. Then you're going to see that. So let me go back to my what? Instance. Let's see if it's boot up. Still doing the process. So it's supposed to be online here. See, it's setting up process. So it hasn't finished yet. So it's going to take a little bit of time to do all that work, okay? So let's go back to my notes. Then we're going to come back here. Now I click on add app. Now go back to instance on left side and see if it's complete. Now you're going to see that if I click on IP address, you will see not found. Since Apache web server is running, but we need to go app and deploy. So what I'm saying that right here, see there's IP address right here. Okay, it's online, right? Okay, good. I'm glad it's finished. It's online. There's IP address. When I click this, look what happened. Not found. Why is that? Because I have to go back to my apps and then I have to click what? Deploy. See, when I click deployment, there's nothing deployed. So you go to apps first, then you say what? Deploy. Deploy means what? Push it to the what? Instance. So it's right here, ASM app 1, this is deploy, and we just click what? Deploy. So this is going to take a little bit time, okay? So right now I'm at what? Deployment right now, see that? Apps, I've done that, see? Last deployment, that's the time we just did that, and this is deployment. So when this is finished, when I go back to instance, when I press this IP address, I'm not going to see this message again. I'm going to see what? The website, create a sample website created by Amazon. So let's wait until that finishes. So go deployment, it's in the process right now. See that? It's in process, okay? So let's go back to my notes. It's going to take about 2 minutes to deploy. After it is finished, when I go back to my instance and click IP address, I will see it is working, and it shows at the bottom, you're going to see a page, and it's going to show, give you this, congratulations, blah, blah, blah. Your PHP application is running, and it's going to give you the web server, which is very important, in your dedicated content, and it's going to show you this message for us as soon as finished. So we just have to wait that. Okay, so let's go back and review what we did so far until that deployment finishes. Okay, so right here again, what we do first, stack. We have this PHP stack right here. Okay, we have this, then we have what? Layer. We have one layer. I'm going to add one layer. So you have one instance right here. See that? It's nice color. Instance. That's my instance online. Blah blah blah. And that's IP address. Then we have apps. We push the apps right here. How do I get the apps from what? Repository. Okay. Again, when I click edit, look at this. When I go to edit, this is where I got my what? Apps repository. Okay. Then deployment. It shows that deploy is finished. Okay. So let's go back to instance, check it out. I click this. Remember that before was what? Not found. Let's see what we're going to see there. All right, congratulations. Simple application. Congratulations. Your PHP is not running on this, and it give you what? The name of the what? Server, ASM Web Server 1. Now let's go back. Let's go back to EC2. Let's go see if we create that. Let's see what has been done so far. See, running instance. Okay, look at this. Aha, see, I have my what? The running is on the what? eCentral 1, and that's the name of the web server we put, and T2 micro, all that good stuff, okay? Now look at this. When I go back to EC2 again, it does create a what? A lot of what? Security group. These are the security group, okay? This was default right here. But all of the other one has been created by what? That's deployment. Okay, good to go. Let's go back to the services and let's go back to OpsWorks. Okay, and we go back to the stacks. I'm sorry about that. Okay, and we go back to our what? Layers. Right now we have this. Okay, now let's go back to our notes, see what's happening. Okay, remember that we do not need to SSH, just use the what? PHP file. So we didn't do SSH, we did nothing, every done dollar. Now we're going to add another layer for elastic load balance. But before we do this layer, we will go to EC2. On the left, we will create an elastic load balance and call it what? OpsWorks ELB. Control C. Okay. But we do not add any instance to it. So what I'm trying to say that right here, we go back to here. Oops, sorry that. We go back to layer. See, right now we have only one more layer. But what I want to do, I want to add another layer here. It's called what? Elastic load balance. But before we do that, we have to create elastic load balance. So I'll go back to EC2 right here. Okay. It's coming. Sorry about that. Stinky. Okay, this is EC2 right now. See, there's no load balance. I come down all the way down. Remember that we've done this on the other labs. You have load balance right here. Okay. So what are we going to do? We're going to create a load balancer. We're going to pick what? Classic one. Okay. Classic what? Load balance. Make life easy. Create that. Okay. I'm going to give it a name. This OpsWorks work elastic. I'm going to use default VPC. It's no problem. I'm going to leave it like that. Next, security group. I'm going to pick. I wrote in my notes. Here what I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick the security group called apps OpsWorks PHP app server and change it to index.php and change the timer to these 10 seconds of that. So I'm going to pick AppsWorks PHP app server. Okay, OpsWorks, I'm sorry, PHP app server. So let's go back there again. Right here. So I'm going to pick AWS OpsWorks PHP app server right here. I need this security group. I need this one right here. Okay. I'm going to say next, configure secure group. That's fine. Next, health check. Here, I'm not going to put index.html. Okay. I'm going to put what? My note, I said that it has to be what? Index.php. Why is that? Because that's what my file name is. PHP. Okay. I'm going to change this to what? Interval 10 seconds. Health threshold, I'll make it what? 3. So it comes faster. Okay. So this is that 10 and 3. Add instance. Here you gotta make sure don't add instance. We don't want to add instance right now. So you can see later on. Nothing here. Tag. We're not going to add tag and review and what? Create. Close. So I just create what? A load balance. Here's the key part. Instance. There's no instance yet. Eventually we're going to see a bunch of instance right here. There's nothing here. Okay. So that's the key. So we create our load balance. Okay. Now what are we going to do? We're going to go back to our services, go back to what? OpsWorks. Now what you want to do, sorry about that, go back to stack again, go back to here, go back to what? Layers. Again, I want to add another layer here. Okay, I want to add what? Another layer. Now look at my notes. There's two ways you can do that. You can use it, okay? After you finish, go back to the instant tab and make sure you don't have nothing. Now go back to OpsWorks and try add layer. You can add a new layer in another way. Go back to PHP app server layer, and then you will see a tab called what? Network. And here we add elastic load balance layer. As with this is another way of doing it. So there's two ways to do that. I'm going to show you another way. So go back to PHP app server. Okay. So go back to where? PHP app server right here. Then there's something called what? Network. See, look at this. Edit, load balancer, and elastic IPS. That's what here you can add the load balance layer. That. Then I'm gonna pick what? My what? Elastic load balance. Okay. Now look at this. This is very important for exam. After you attach elastic load balancer layer, OpsWorks remove any currently registered instance and then manage the load balancer for you. If you subsequently use the elastic load balance API or modify the configuration, the change will not be permanent. What they say that if I'm using this, if there are a bunch of instances, it's going to automatically remove that. It's going to use a new one. So after attaching elastic load balancer, the OpsWorks removes any currently registered instance and manage the load balancer for you. Okay, so it's going to remove it. So make sure that I use this, which is not has been used in production or anything like that. All I'm going to say was save. Okay, I'm going to leave a public IP address, all of that. Save. Okay, so that shows right here. Now let's go back to layer. See, now you have what? 2 layers. Okay, you see you have 2 layers. Right now is what? Is on attached. It's not finished. Eventually this is going to be attached. Okay, so this is one layer. This another. Again, I could have done through what? To this whole process of doing that. Okay, but I didn't do it. I just do it a different way. All right, so where we have one layer here and another layer here. We have 2 layers. Okay, see, nice health came up. Life is good. Okay, So let's read that. After you attach Elastic Load Balance, OpsWorks remove any current registry instance that manage load balance for you. That's why I said that. Now, if I go back to the layer, you will see Elastic Load Balance has been added, which we saw that, but the health is not good yet. It takes time. Now, after a minute, it will be healthy. And now, if you click on the long DNS name, it will show the same web page as before. So let me show you what I'm talking about. If I go back to here again, oops, sorry about that. See this long DNS name? Look at that. Okay, 1 second. This is gonna be similar to this page right here. So here's a long DNS. See that? It works. Okay. Now it shows what? App ASM Web Server 1. Now let's go back to here. Let's go back to EC2. Let's go back to EC2 again. Now watch this. It's very important. Okay, watch this. Okay, now look at this. Let's go to my load balancer. Remember, create load balancer. Now look at the instance. I have one instance. That's app web server 1 is. See, now it's inside here. Before I did not add it, but now it's in service. Everything live is good. Okay, so live is what? Good. Now let's go back to my notes right now. Okay, now if I go back to EC2 on the left, click on LSB on instance tab. That's what I did. I will see the name of instance app server 1 in here. Remember that we did not add any instance here. Okay, so live is good so far. Now I go back to OpsWorks and click, and on the instance you will see you have two choices. We have 24 hours as the default. Oops, sorry about that. And then we have time based and load based. Again, time based you can schedule like between 8 AM to 5 PM. You want to add that, or load based is like auto scale if the CPU utilization go higher on that. Okay. All right. Now I go under instance of that. On the instance inside OpsWorks and add another instance, and let's call it what? ASM Web Server 2 with T2 macro and 1B. So I'm going to call this. So I'm going to add another what? Instance. I'm going to copy this. Control C. So go back to here. Okay. Let's go back to services. Go back to my lovely OpsWorks. Okay. Click on stack. Click this. Go to instance. See, on the instance C we have what? Time based and what? This is based of timed, that if you want to change the time, and this is based of what? Load, like CPU utilization, memory, like that. So let's go back to instance right now. Okay, right now we have only what? One instance. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add what? Another what? Instance. I just want to show you what's going to happen here. Instance, but here I'm going to call this ASM Web Server 1. I'm going to call it what? 2. Okay, I'm going to make it what? Again, same thing, make it micro, but I'm going to pick what? In different what? Availability zone. Why is that? You know, because for redundancy. Add what? Instance. See right here, stop. Then I'm going to say what? Start. Now it goes to whole what? Process again. It's going to go to what? The whole process that what we've done there. Okay, so we just have to let it go. Now what's going to happen, that's the key part, because see, this is what? Up running, this is right. Now as soon as this is online, I'm sorry, this is what? Setting up. As soon as this second instance finish, is going to get everything which is inside this PHP server, which is all the recipe, all of that is going to apply to the what? To that one. Okay, and also it's since this is part of this is going to get that, because these are connected to each other. Elastic Load Balance PHP connect is going to show up right here too. Look at this in service, and the other one unattached. Eventually it's going to get what? Both of them is going to be same color online. Okay, so let's go back to my notes. Let's see what it has said. Okay, so I'm going to call that. Now you click on the start, and we will see that if I go to long DNS name and keep registering, I will see both names. So eventually when it's finished that, when I click that long DNS name, you're going to see what? Both of that. So what I'm saying that right here, when I go back here, see when I click on this one, after this is finished, this is long what? DNS name. Remember we had that? So let's wait this comes up. See, right now it shows what? App web server 1. If I click what? Refresh, eventually it's going to show what? App server 2. Eventually when that's finishing. So right now it just show what? 1. Eventually it's going to show what? Both of them. So let's go back to layer. Let's go back to instance. See, it's still booted. It's not finished yet. So we gotta what? Wait. But the key is that I put 2 instances here. Is going to get everything on this. Anything has been deployed. See, deployed. Everything has been deployed is going to deploy to that second instance too. That's what we're trying to show you that. So it's still booting. We just have to wait. Okay. So go back to here. Let's continue our notes. Okay. After about 2 minutes, now if I go back to EC2 and click Elastic Band, I will see the new instance that has been added on the instant time and it is in service. So what does that mean? After this instance 2 is finished, okay, after this guy is finished, which we have to wait. After this is finished, okay, all I'm saying that if I go to EC2, okay, let's go back to EC2 right now. Let's just wait. See, right now we have 2 instances. Okay. Okay, this is almost is installation. You see, it's still what? Initialized. It's not finished yet. You see that one? This is web server 2. Okay. Now, if I go back again here on the left side, if I go load balancer, okay. Okay, this is load balancer. If I go to instance tab, see, right now we have only what? 1 in service. Eventually it's finished, it's going to have another one too from one of these in available zone. So you're going to have a 2. That's what we're trying to explain to you. Okay, so let's go back to my what? OpsWorks. Okay. Go back to here. Okay. Go back to where? Instance. Okay, it's still running. It's not finished yet. Okay. So it's still doing the whole process. Alright, so we just have to wait. Hopefully this finish fast. Again, let's summarize that. First you create what? Stack. After creating a stack, you create what? Layer. You could have one layer here, you could have another layer here, okay? You could have another layer, what? Like RDS. You can put RDS layer, okay? So, stacks, layer, instance. Then what are you going to do? You're going to add what? Inside the layer, right here, you add what? Instance. Okay? It can be time-based, then apps. Apps, you're going to create apps. You can click edit here. How you get apps from? Repository. You have some kind of repository. You get it from that, okay? Then here, you have to make sure what? Deploy it. Like here's check mark and check mark. Deploy already. Okay? So let's go back to instance. So it's still continuing. It's almost what? Finishing, okay? All right. So let's look at my notes. Okay, after 2 minutes, you go back to EC2. It has to like that. Now let's go add another instance and call it what? Web server what? 3. Let's do another one too. So you can see 3 instances. Okay, it's online. Great. So let me add another instance right now. Then I'm gonna check. I'm gonna copy that. Another instance. I'm gonna call that what? Number what? 3. Again, I'm gonna pick a micro. So meanwhile I'm checking this, you can see that one. Then I'm gonna pick what? This available zone. Add what? Instant. So right now, and then this is stop. Remember you have to what? Start it. So I have both instances online, okay? Let's go back to the layer. Let's look at this, see? This is 2 online. And this is the one I just setting up, and this is 2 healthy. Now when I go back to this DNS, see, right now it shows what? Look at that, I pick 2. If I click refresh, see, pick 1. See that one? It's going to what? Load balancing. When I click refresh, you pick what? 2. Eventually, when number 3 is finished, it's going to pick that. So 1, and then what? 2. Okay? Now let's go back to my what? EC2. I go back to EC2. Okay? And let's see what we have there. I should have a true working, another instance also what? Rebooting. So let's wait. See, 3 wrong instance, that's what we have it, right? Go back to here. See, 2 is already there. So this is what? Number 1, number 2, and this is 1A and 1B, and this is 1C. Now let's go to load balancer right here. I go load balancer, remember that? On the tab, we have the tab there. If I go to instance tab, now I have what? 2 in service. I have 1B, so automatically has been added to what? My what? Load balancer. Eventually, when the other one's finishing, when I go back to the OpsWorks, okay, when I go back to stacks, right here, when I go to instance, see, after it's finished, then I'm gonna have what? 3 of those, okay? All right, so again, layer right here. So this is right in progress right now. All right, so that's what I said on my notes. Okay, now when I go to long DNS, I see refresh, I will be able to see 1, 2, and what? Number what? 3. Now, after I finish, I will delete all the instance layer and make sure also remove elastic load balancer and delete all the secure group. You have to do that, otherwise you might get charged. So don't forget to delete your what? Elastic load balancer, okay? In order to do that, you have to go reverse. First, you have to stop the instances in order to delete this. So let's finish, that's finishing. Okay, I'll go back to instance again. Still booting up. So eventually when this is finished, you're gonna see that online, 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 okay? So again, the first thing you do, you create what? Stack, PHP what? Stack, okay? Then you have what? Then you have a what? Layer. So it could be this layer, elastic load balance layer, or it could be what? PHP layers. All you have to add layer, right? And you can pick from here, okay? You can pick a static web service, it could be HTML, or you can pick any Java or Apache, whatever. We have done that, Java or anything else, okay? You can put load balancer, all that good stuff, okay? All right. So that's what you do. The another layer you can put what? RDS, if you want to add RDS, okay? So stack first, layer, you could have one layer here, one layer here. Again, this stack could be production, another stack could be what? Test and development. So everyone has their own group. So you go stack first, layer, then what? Instance, which could be time-based, load-based. After instance, you gotta make sure you click what? Start, start, start. Then you have what? Apps. That's the app that you get it from where? Repository right here. See that? You get apps from where? Repository, okay? Then you have what? You gotta make sure what? Deploy. That's very important to what? Deploy what? An app, okay? All right, so if something has been changed, it's a deploy an app and just do that one. So that's would take care of that, okay? So if you need more questions or comments, you can go to our website www.asm.com. If you go here, information technology, IT, you're going to see our landing page. When you come down, you're going to see what? Amazon courses. When you click this, that is going to take you to this course. I'm sorry, it's going to take this. We have what? Solution architecture, we have developer, we have sysop, we have professional DevOps, and then we have advanced networking, all of that, okay? And then also we have, if you click one of those links, we have bootcamp, daytime, nighttime, and also online. So we have, let's say developer, we have a bootcamp class, and the bootcamp class, you can do a 9 to 5. You can do it either locally in person, or you can do via the what? WebEx. Okay, and also here's our schedule list. So we have one June 4th coming up, then August 5th, and so on. Okay, so we have different what schedule. And then if you go back to here on the blogs, we have something called what? Amazon AWS blog. So if you click here, all the notes that I mentioned is going to be here. If you click like this is a Amazon AWS VPC endpoint. When you click here, it's going to take you Amazon. It's going to take our blogs. It has a description, it has all the notes, everything here. Okay, step 1, step 2, all of that. Then also we're going to have the what? The video here, which comes up eventually. See, there you go to YouTube. Okay, if you have a question, comment, make sure you contact us. Okay, you can contact this form, right? or use these numbers to contact us. Okay, so make sure this is online. Great, I'm glad it's finished. So what you do, go back to the layer. Now watch this. Go back to this long DNS. Remember that this can be connected to what? Route 53 and make a friend here. If I click this, see that? It's 3 right now. So pick it up. Refresh. You pick what? 1. So it's picking from web server number 1. Refresh. It's picking from where? Number 2. Refresh. Number what? 3. So if I go back to my EC2, okay, see that? Half, 3 healthy. Now here on EC2, if I go load balancer right here, and then you go to instance, now you're going to see 3 instance. See that? Number 2, which is 1B, number 1, which is 1A, number 3 is what? 1C. Okay, all of that's right here. So whenever you do that, make sure you actually delete it. Make sure you delete these guys too. Okay, so I'm going to go back to here. Well, here's, we don't want that. I'll go back to where? Services, go back to OpsWorks, and then go back to your instance. First you have to what? Stop all of this, then what? Be able to what? Delete. You cannot delete this. Okay, so you cannot delete this. So you have to stop what? Stop all of them. After stopping, then one by one you can what? Delete. Okay, so that concludes our what? Session tonight. Thanks so much for your time. Have a good day.